Excellent. So, before I realize it, it's morning already. By the way, if you did not know, I had to, I accidentally saved over this file, so I had to basically redo the entire game. Oh, that was sad. Useless. I couldn't get any sleep at all. I set up the alarm clock and with a sigh. Today is my date with Seba. No matter what she says, she shall fall in love with me. To be fair, this whole date comes out of nowhere, and I love it. It's not like the one in UBW, which kind of makes sense why it came out of nowhere, because it was Rin's idea, and it was more meant to be a, hey, by the way, we're trying to give our target a false sense of security, like that sort of thing. And that's more what it's supposed to be, and it's a bonding moment for all three of them. In this case, it's like, no, you know what Saber needs? A date. We're going to go on a date. I love the fate route in certain cases because it's like this. It is very stupid, and I love it. Why is it very stupid? Because it has some very silly ideas. Thankfully, this day only has one choice. So it's really easy because it's also a Tiger Dojo. So I know exactly what it is, and we can save right when it happens. I'm going to take her to places she hasn't been and play around, and most important, that is for her to enjoy herself. I was trying to use the knowledge I don't have to come up with a plan for today, but the alarm clock went off before I noticed the time. Oh, yes, I forgot I have Facebook open. I should probably close Facebook. Alright, let's see how fast I can do this. Epic switch. Nice. Nice and clean. That's how you like them. I set the alarm clock just in case. I couldn't come up with any good plans last night, so I borrowed it from Tosakas, thinking I might take a long time to come up with a plan. It was useless in the end. Come to think of it, I've never gone on a date before. I sigh again. That's the problem. Even more shocking is that the fact I couldn't get any sleep is the fact that I couldn't come up with a plan to make a girl happy. Even though I thought about it all night. Fine, I'll leave this to luck. I'll take her everywhere and make her realize what it means to have fun. We go to cute-looking stores, she's bound to have fun. Well, I think the plan has some weak points, but I've made up my mind, and so that's what I'm going to do. I guess it's not a bad strategy if you know the person likes cute things. And Saber is shown that she does like cute lions and stuff, so perks. It's not like I have any other ideas, so I'm going to entertain her today until she gives up. I got a big glass of water. Just to be safe. Then Iliasfield hasn't woken up yet. No, she's still asleep. Looks like it'll take her a bit longer to wake up, but I guess that's good luck today. If she were awake, she'd be following Shiro around and bothering him. Yes, we cannot have her continue to accompany Shiro as she's been. It didn't look like that last night, but we are going to start seriously searching for the remaining Master Field. Shiro cannot be concerned with Iliasfield. That's not what I meant, but oh well. It won't do any good if I tell you. And this is yours and Shiro's problem. Jessica tries to hide her laughter. A problem for me and Shiro. Saber's expression questions me. We're done eating breakfast, so it's a good time. Saber is ready to go as different masters, but I have willpower as well. I just need with it like a man. About that, Saber. We'll be going out into the neighborhood town today. So if you need to get ready, do so now. Looking for the master. In that case, I would have suburbs would be a better choice. Just in the neighborhood town. No, we're going to hang out, so there's no point to going to the suburbs. I love how they put Rin in the corner there. Just basically, it's like, if this was actually happening, it'd be, I'm trying to hide my laughter, trying to hide my laughter, trying to hide my laughter. Saber freezes. I really have to get back at the person behind who's trying not to laugh. Sure. What do you mean by that? You're not going to hang out with Rin? I'm going. But you will come with me. Tosaga has nothing to do with it. She's staying here to take care of Ilia. How ridiculous. We may not accomplish much, even if we did search the neighboring town. Doing such is meaningless. What are you trying to do? Saber complains directly. This is what I expected, but the future looks troublesome-ish. Still thinks we're going into town to look for a master, even though after I told her clearly. You don't understand when I put it clearly. In other words, I'm saying let's go on a date. How about it? I ask, ignoring Tosaka's stare. I don't know how much she understands. I don't understand what you're saying. Can you give me a concrete description? She asks even less happily. That flips the switch with me. It seems like caring for hers has the opposite effect when it comes to things like this. It seems it would be in both of our benefits to say it clearly. True. I will obey you if you want to go to town, but please explain what you mean by going on to this date. Even though I am familiar with Sage, there are words I do not understand. Please use technical vocabulary. It's not technical vocabulary. I'll tell you since you don't know. Going on a date means you're going to play with a girl. Which is, I guess from how misogynistic this game can be, this novel can be sometimes, is appropriate. Going on a date doesn't necessarily mean you're doing that. Saber freezes. You mean me? She murmurs, still astonished. When I nod, Saber frowns even more unhappily. I understand the meaning of the word, but I understand your intent. What is the reasoning behind such a thing? Her reaction is unexpected. The intention of a date is obvious, but I'm a bit hesitant to tell Saber straight on. Geez, she's misunderstanding because of the words you're using. Don't use the word date. Explain to her simpler terms. Kozaka interrupts as if unable to ignore us. Look, Saber. A date is basically a rendezvous. Shiro says he's going out to play, but it's a chance for a man to appeal to a woman he likes. I cough. Tosaka is right, but I think a date and rendezvous are vastly different. But I shouldn't interrupt. It seems Saber finally understands what a date is. That's right, Saber. We're not going to fight today, we're going to get to town instead. After all, we won't be able to fight during the daytime since there's a lot of people around. So we should be able to do whatever we want right now. That is true, but this is too meaningless. There is no benefit for you in doing this. That's not true. Even if it were, I wouldn't mind. I've already decided to spend today for you, so don't worry about me. Anyways, we're going into town today, and I won't change my mind no matter what. I stare straight on at Saber. After thinking with a serious face for a while, then I will go into town. For yourself, even if I do not go. Yes, I'm definitely going. The stuff I thought all night would go to waste. Then I will have to go with you. As a servant, I cannot leave my master alone. With that deep sigh, Saber answers in her usual manner. I get really angry about her following me because she's my mag servant, but I managed to succeed in getting Saber out of the house. So I just have to take Saber to places without thinking too much about it. See ya. Bring me back something. Just to Tosaka to go to hell as she makes fun of me right to the end. We walk outside. So, what are we going to do exactly, Shiro? We'll go to neighboring town. There's a bus from the intersection, so let's take that. The road is awfully quiet. It's past 9 on the weekday. The town is starting to come alive, but it must be a bit too early for people to start going anywhere. There's no one out on the road, and it's like we had the place to ourselves. Come to think of it, I'm starting to feel no resistance to skipping school. I've been at home all the time recently. Of course, you are a master, so it should be strange for you to be out walking. She replied sharply. She's walking behind me as usual, but it feels different today. To put it nicely, I feel pressure from behind me. Anyway, the Saber is going to be harder to handle today. Look, it's a bus stop. We get on the bus. It would have been full of people an hour ago, but there aren't many people using it at this time. The only people in the bus are an old lady and a kid, so it looks like we have this place to ourselves. Sit at the back, Saber. I call out to Saber, about to sit right at the front, and sit at the back end of the bus. Saber watches the passing scenery silently. Looking at her, I realize how crazy I'm being right now. The bus to the neighboring town is ordinary for me, but in this ordinary thing, there is something extraordinary. Violent short. Yes, my mind starts to twist like a Rubik's Cube. realizing we're about to go on a date. Oh, crap, I'm getting really nervous. Take a deep breath, trying not to let Saber notice. And I know I shouldn't, but I sneak one more glance at Saber. My heart jumps. The Saber sitting next to me is a Saber I don't know. No, Saber herself is the same. All that's changed is the place. But still, just makes me realize she is different. I mean, I did not notice back in my place. This ordinary seemed like a different world just because it has Saber in it. Her hair is golden silk, and her green eyes are so beautiful that their mere presence is overwhelming. There wasn't much to compare her against up to now, but I forgot about it. I remember the time I first met Saber. I was probably avoiding her because I was embarrassed of how being fascinated by her. No matter what Saber says, she is a girl before she is a swordsman for me. I didn't know how to approach her, and didn't realize my feelings for her. The end. It's stupid even for me. I was finally able to believe in Saber with everything I have, and then decided to go on a date. Just those two are in the wrong order. I finally realized when a date is about to begin just how big a deal it is to go on a date with a girl you like. But that's fine. I can only do my best, so I can't back up now. I calm myself and shake off my weak spirits. The bus has crossed the bridge and it's going to be open air where the buildings are. I breathe out and prepare myself. The announcer I'm so used to hearing announces the next stop. It's Shinto Station. Status and weapons updated? What? I don't really think that was that was one of the ones we didn't cover, which was basically it's a Chinese halberd. My status is not here. Rip. Probably the reason why the status is being updated. I can get to the status outside of this, so we're good. We'll do that afterwards. But cafes and bookstores are already open. There are already many people than there were in Miyama City, and this place is crowded as it is on weekends. Getting off the bus, Saber looks around unhappily. It's only natural. Saber was against this date, and the people passing by are looking at her curiously. She must not feel too good about it. Come to think of it, this was bound to happen if I brought Saber here in the morning. That's going to follow us around the whole day. Yeah, because she looks like a foreigner. Because technically she is a foreigner. But not the way to calm down. It's to make Saber have as much fun that she forgets about the people staring at her. Alright. I pound my face. Turn to Saber. Saber, I'll ask you first. Is there any place you want to go? We came all this way, so we should do at least do whatever we want today. I do not know. I have no place that interests me. Before that, I have no knowledge on which to base such a decision. Then it gets really up to luck. Teacher looks bad. Don't have anywhere you want to go, and I don't have any idea where I want to go. I don't want to ask this, but you do not have a plan, Shiro. Well, I have a few, but no details. Let's just go to random stores now. Well, that's still difficult. I know places where I won't get bored, but I can't imagine where a girl would be happy to go to. Jeez, if I knew it would end up like this, I wish I'd gone without a girl just once. Honestly, please don't take offense, but there is something wrong with you. Your plan to take a rest is fine, but how can you not even have a plan for that rest? Saber enters her scolding mode. This is the first time she started to complain about something outside of the dojo. I knew she was irritated not being up for this and being looked at by curious eyes, but I didn't think she was this irritated. I've always wanted to object your lack of planning. You are always closely aware of everyone around you, but you treat yourselves too carelessly. As a result, you yourself have to pay the price for this discrepancy. Oh, you listen to me, Shiro. I am. So basically, you're not happy about being here right now, right? It's only natural. It's pretty obvious it's going to be boring going anywhere with me. But it's not that, but I'm saying now is not the time to do such things. I know that too, but I won't listen since we decided to have you accompany me today. Don't change my mind no matter what. Look at Saber. Saber just looked back at me in shock. But I'll listen if you have something to say. I'm sure you have complaints, so tell them right now. I won't worry about making you unhappy if you do so. You say you don't want to go on a date, I'll think of something else. No. I think you need to go that far, Saber reverts her gaze and runs out of words. You have no complaints? Then let's go. You have no requests, so don't get mad at me if we go. I'm considering an ordinary place, like an aquarium. I decided to grab Saber's hand. Sure, I have no complaints, but there's no need to hold my hand. Don't waste time. So we'll be running for a while. I'll show you the way, so follow me. No, I cannot do a situation like this. I started to run without waiting for Saber's reply. Since I'm talking big to Saber, I can't act miserable now. I just have to take her to every possible place I can think of. Not a great strategy. Like, it's not the worst strategy I've ever thought of. The worst strategy would be only go to places you think are fun for you and nowhere else. Because you don't know if they're... Like, just by going to different places, you can try and figure out, oh, maybe they like this. Maybe they like, in this case, maybe they like the aquarium. Maybe they like the zoo. Or maybe they like to go to this store. Or maybe they like going here. Like, there's reasonables to it. I've run holding Saber's hand. She must have accepted it as Saber finally stopped complaining and follows me quietly. Well, it's before 10 o'clock. I'll make 2 hours before lunchtime worthwhile and surprise her. To summarize, the 2 hours went by like a storm. We went to the boutique I usually don't go to, and played bowling while I taught her the rules. I couldn't find an aquarium, but we fed some birds in a park. We also went to an antique store, and I still think it was the best not to the movie theater. Anyway, I was taking her to places a girl might like from the past 2 hours, but there were many results. Honorable defeats, and total defeats. But I don't think that's what Habit would call a date. This is more like a contest, a fight to the death, where the first one to give up loses. Saber is the same as usual, no matter where I take her. And sometimes it goes so quiet that I surely start wondering if she's really bad. She gives no reaction, so I become desperate to make her happy at the next place I take her to. As a result, I've become obstinate about making Saber smile and around different places all morning. But it's already noon, without much success. So, as Saber reminded me it's time for lunch, I decided to take a short break, but... What is this place? Zeta table. I recommend the restaurant by the river if you're going to have a lunch. That was the only advice Tosaka gave me last night. I trusted her and chose this place, but I never thought it would be this fastidious. My lord, that's a hard word. I look up at the menu. Fortunately, the menu has a version in Japanese as well, so I have no problems reading it. The trouble is, I can't understand what kind of food it is from the name. The prices are outrageous. Wow, Mars. I seriously don't know what I should order. I groaned, looking at the menu. Sure. Did you want to come to lunch? I'd rather hear a voice from the other side of the table. Yeah, it's too different from what I'm used to. Where's my head? And then there's Saber with an expression like a concerned rabbit. Saber. If you cannot relax, let us return to the mansion. I prefer the food you prepare, Shiro. You want to go home? No, I don't want to go back home, but today has been really exhausting, so I'm more tired than usual today. I see. Not about going into town again after eating. If you're tired, we can rest for a while. That's not what I meant. Tired was not the word I meant. It should have been, Saber stops. Small gurgling sound was fortunately small enough that only I could hear. Oh, if she was hungry, she could have just told me. Excuse me, so in other words, I'm saying it'd be helpful for us to have lunch quickly. Roger. Yeah, it's no fun. Let's order something safe and get our food quickly. It's simple. If all we want are light snacks. I order 2 things on the lunch menu and decide to eat quickly. I consider what to do in the afternoon while drinking an after-meal coffee. What I learned this morning is that anything physical is not good. Saber gets serious when it comes to contests. That's good for me, but makes Saber stand out even more. After we finished a game, Saber got angry because she caught all the afternoon she wanted to avoid. Just avoid anything involves moving around. Ask for the second time. Is there anywhere you want to go? Me? No, there is not. I cannot tell, so I will leave it up to you. Saying so, Saber lifts up her teacup. Saber ordered English tea, and it seems she really likes the taste. I wonder why. We don't have much English tea at my place, and even if we did, it's all instant tea bags. Seems Saber was a bit dissatisfied with the drinks at my house. She seems to like English tea. I should put that into consideration starting tonight. Saber is sitting there drinking tea. She doesn't seem happy or bored. If I had to use one word to describe her, it'd be that she looks natural. She drinks her tea, sitting up straight up in the shadows of the streaming sunlight. Even though this is the first time I've seen such a thing, it doesn't seem strange, and it feels like I've seen such a scene before. Why do I feel that? The Saber I know is a tense girl, who's always holding a sword and fighting. Oh, I see. But it's only natural. I also know her attitude after she lets go of her sword. When she stops fighting, Saber has always been calm and gentle. This scene only looks natural rather than new because of her true nature. No matter how superior she was at swordsman, it's natural for Saber to look like this. Rather, it's abnormal for her to hold a sword at all. Once I thought in my dream that she was not suited for fighting. I don't think I'm wrong. No matter how superior her technique, or no matter her battles she's experienced, as long as she is who she is, she can't be in a comfortable place to be. So this is natural. Saber is resting, not holding a sword. This calm scene is the way she should be. We do the same thing in the afternoon. I go to every place I can think of, and Saber follows me silently. But it's not as painful as it was in the morning. I don't know if it's because I'm getting used to it, or whether Saber is complying. Saber still isn't talkative, but if you look closely, her expression isn't that like she's mad. There's a feeling of accomplishment and happiness when I see Saber leave a shop with light steps. So, considering many factors, make Saber happy from many angles. The plushie store! I'm a bit dubious, but I've determined that this shop is best suited for Saber. Saber stands there dumbfounded. I don't know if her shoulders are shaking because she's angry or because she's deeply moved. Shiro, this is the biggest stuffed animal shop in town. I've never been here before since men aren't allowed in. Of course, there's no actual rule like that, but since the only women, no men, it's like an unwritten rule. To prove it, there are only girls in here. I'm only here at Saber's being stared at, but being a guy, I'm being glared at. I'm sure they want to tell me not to come into their sanctuary. I feel the same way. I would not approve of men entering this place, even though I love the animals. They're fluffy. Well, let's ignore everyone and look around since we're here. Saber, is there an animal you like? I feel that lions and panthers are lovely, but is that strange? He asked me with upturned eyes. I look away instantly and contain my laughter. The funny thing is, Saber is strange for thinking she's strange for thinking lions are cute. Shiro, that gesture is unnatural. I feel unreasonable anger. But perhaps that's just my imagination. Oh, sorry. Liking lions is so like you, so I had to laugh. How dare you laugh at other people's preferences? There's nothing wrong with lions. I'm telling you I'm sorry. I'll take you some very good apology, so don't get mad. I go into the store while trying to hold my laughter, but it looks like stuffed animals are that way. So, taking about an hour to go around the store. I looked at Saber staring at stuffed animals and felt nervous with all the girls there. Anyways, it was the most tiring hour so far. But the worst part is, we've only looked through half the store. It took us this long at just half because Saber was frequently paralyzed. I mean, Saber kept staring at stuffed animals. Looks like Saber's interested in the other half too, so I'll have to accompany him. Shiro, why are you sighing? Are you tired from walking? Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I'm not usually so weak. But this place is special. I guess I shouldn't be doing things I'm not accustomed to. I let out a big sigh. I don't mean I'm being looked at by other people while walking with Saber. But a girl's only place like this is really uncomfortable. Boredom sometimes tires one's body. How about you? Especially your first time in a place like this. Tell me if you're tired. I so you do not feel calm. But you look more comfortable, not just here. But you seemed this way at the previous store, and the store before that. I do not think this. But are you choosing places you do not wish to go to? For me, Saber's words are enough to cast away my worries. Yeah, to be honest, I'm choosing places I don't like. As I thought. Where could you choose places you're unfamiliar with? You will. Because these are places suitable for girls. I'm the one who started this whole thing, and today's your day as well. And it's not that uncomfortable either. It's fine since you're with me. I have such a cute girl with me, so people might be jealous. But I'll never be out of place. How ridiculous. I'm a servant. Even though I'm not armed, you don't need to treat me as a woman just because you're not fighting. Please treat me as a servant as usual. You're the ridiculous one. You're a girl to begin with. It's not like I'm treating you any differently today. Am I acting any differently? In astonishment, Saber opens her mouth as if she just realized that. You are the same. You're acting the same as always, Shiro. Yep. So you don't need to worry about me. So let's go. We're going to buy the one you like the most, so we have to go look at the remaining half. I take Saber's hand. Saber silently follows me. That's right. He has been like this from the start, but I did not realize it until this moment. She murmurs to herself. The unusual day goes by quickly. Saber never laughed, nor could I laugh from my heart. It's not like there were any moments, nor were boring, that I regret doing it. To be frank, this was nothing. Saber might have been happier if we'd stayed at the mansion and trained together. But today wasn't bad. It wasn't fun or boring, but I can be proud of it in the end. After the battle is over, everything goes back to normal. It would be too sad if all the time Saber and I spent fighting. Even though it's something stupid, she has to spend some time not fighting, or there's no point in her being here. So I can be proud of myself for now. The end is near. When everything comes to an end, when there's more need to fight. If Saber remembered this moment, remember that happened, that alone is enough for me to be proud of. We go home on foot, because Saber said, let's walk home. Let's decide to go home on bus. There's some wind now. The vivid setting sun, lighting the bridge red. Saber notices something and stops. He's watching the mountain of rubble. It's not that tall enough to call it a mountain of rubble. Steel frames and the like are piled up on the water surface and slightly distorting the flow of water. I don't know why, but it seems like a ship sank or something, and the pieces of it are flowing down into a mountain. I heard the local residents have been demanding its removal for a long time since it damages the beautiful sight. What's wrong, Saber? Did that catch your attention? I was noticing that it still remains because I was the cause of it. I used the noble phantasm there, having fought on the water in the previous battle. The only damage was the river dried up, but I also destroyed that ship that unfortunately anchored there. You mean Excalibur? Yes, but fortunately nobody on board and damages were minimal. The river is back to normal, so you should not get so mad. I regret it as well. I should watch out. I think I only use Excalibur in open place like this. Shiro, are you still mad? No, I'm not mad, I'm just surprised. And I was just thinking how many traces there are from the last war. The rubble river shouldn't be a problem compared to the wasteland in the park. Well, I guess it was unfortunate for the owners of the ship. Please do not worry about as Kiritsugu said the owner had insurance. He parked the ship as a buffer, so he used the ship as a wall to reduce the power of a noble phantasm. So you destroyed the ship knowing it was there? I did not know. Kiritsugu prepared it without telling me. I think Kiritsugu knew how battle would turn out. I did not notice since he never said anything about it, or after he prepared the ship. Saber looks down the river yearningly. The water's surface reflects the sunset. The wind coming down the river is a bit strong and flutters Saber's hair. It's because she looks beautiful like that. Saber, did you have fun today? I was assaulted by a sudden fear that Saber might just disappear, and I asked something I don't need to ask. Did you say something, Shirley? I asked you if you had fun today. She gasps. Saber opens her eyes in amazement. Yes. I'd be lying if I said this was not new to me. She says in a voice of hope. And such a thing will never happen again. I knew what her answer would be. All I can do is nod and just go home. Everything just like that. I see. I nod like, then let's go again. It's not like this has to be the last time. I say something I won't be able to take back. Saber freezes. She must have realized what I want to say. She shakes her head, looks directly at me, as if saying there won't be a next time. As if this mistake is only for today. Why? I know Saber's answer, but I ask, not liking the answer I expect. I do not even need to explain. Servants exist to fight. A day like today is only merely denying my own existence. I obeyed, decided to take a rest, but I believe resting should not be necessary from now on. There are only a few enemies left. I would like to start searching for Lancer right now, if you would order me to. She looks at me with eyes full of fire. Saber is saying she will start fighting right now if I order it. That causes me to be mad. All the things I can't approve of. What's with that? You really want to fight that much? Of course. I draw closer to the Holy Grail the more I fight. Battle should prioritize your glory. You should know that as well. I understand, but that's why it's strange. I've always wanted to say this, but you're contradicting yourself. You say fighting is important, but you don't like fighting. You're fighting against your will because there's no other way, right? That's not true. I do not hesitate to fight. I have already told you that I will do anything to win. Yeah, she did say that. But that's not a reason to like fighting. As far as you can manage, right? Look, Sid. If you just wanted to defeat other masters who played the Holy Grail, you could just attack people and take their power. But you don't want to do that, right? That is... It's not that you don't want to involve innocent people. You know well enough that people will be dying unless you start fighting. That's why you want to minimize the battles. People will die if you fight. You want to end the battles as quickly as possible. In other words, you're frightened of fights with victims. After opening her eyes, as if she's seen a ghost, she grits her teeth and straightens her stare. You are wrong. I do not fear battles. I don't think you were ever scared. Because individuals' fear must be suppressed, what you call the King's mission. But you still fear battles. You are strong and good at fighting, but that's not a talent you ever wanted, right? I'll say this honestly. Fighting doesn't suit you. You must have hated even pulling out that sword. Your claim that fighting, only objective, is an excuse to try and deceive yourself. It's so simple. Why didn't you or anybody around you notice? Sure. I will not tolerate any more insults even from you. You can't stand it because it's the truth. You won't be able to fight anymore if you admit it. She grits her teeth. She glares at me in anger. I can't back away. If I believe I'm right, I can't run away. So you should stop. You want to stop too. You must know that fighting doesn't suit you, so just quit it. Stop being a servant and do something that suits you. You should regain happiness you should have as a human. For that I are ridiculous. I have no choice besides fighting. I only exist to obtain the Holy Grail. I submitted my body to fulfill my purpose as king. I cannot allow any other use for myself. I only exist to obtain the Holy Grail. That annoys me the most. Why does she say ridiculous things like that to convenience herself? Everyone around her took her word because she kept saying things like that. You idiot. That's not true. There are infinite ways. You are here, and different than before. So, you have to live for yourself. Don't make any mistakes, and don't use the Holy Grail. The final wish she permitted. Don't use it for people you don't care about. You're here. You need to be happy here. I hear the wind. Saber doesn't answer. Doesn't even nod. She just looked back at me. I can accept your words. I made a contract to obey you, but I did not give you my heart. She replies with a strong voice. I cannot forsake my oath as king. There is a duty I must fulfill as the king. King Arthur's goal is to obtain the Holy Grail. Even if I achieve that goal, I will not return to being Arturian. I have only had one wish. This wish has never changed since I pulled out the sword. That's not a thing you have to do. Wrong for you to even unrewarded for your actions. You don't need the Holy Grail. Saber's wish won't come true. It's impossible to erase everything that's happened. Saber, you can't redo what's already done. No, I think there's something you mustn't do. You should know that. That's not true. I'll tell you. However bad the result, you can't change what's happened. Why'd you redo something because you couldn't? It's just childish selfishness. Our words end there. Saber doesn't say anything, and I don't have anything else to say. The wind has stopped as well. No, the wind hasn't stopped. It only died down for a second. Another sound of wind. As I feel the wind on my cheek. I thought you would understand, Shiro. The wind has changed into headwind. Is that all you wanted to say? You're wasting the meanest day? A cold voice. It contains only rejection. Don't be so conceited. It makes you think you understand. You have no right to invade me. Do not fight. What are you saying when you need to protect you? Please give me that nonsense after you've been able to fight on your own. I do not think that will ever occur. It's not nonsense. It is nonsense. Think about myself. That goes for you as well. You do not even consider your life. You say I am mistaken, but you are even more mistaken. Only corpses consider what others more important than themselves. How can a fool does not even value his own life dress himself? Except for you. Did I annoy you? Then I will not mind if you dissolve our contract. You do not need the Holy Grail anyway. I will defeat the Ring Master by myself and obtain the Holy Grail myself. If you not wish to fight, you can go hide somewhere far away. Are you serious? I ask with a trembling voice. My teeth are chattering as I'm suppressing my emotions. Of course. My only Grail is worthy. Everything else is unnecessary. You are no exception, Shiro. I stop breathing. I bare my head going white, managed to restart my stopped heart. You blockhead! Fine, if you want to fight, go ahead. Do what you want. I don't care anymore. But I can't stop my emotions. I yell what sounds like an excuse and run away from Saber. I get away from him for a moment. I think I see Saber standing there after the Damn it. I run over. I keep running, not knowing what's so vexing or maddening. Everything else is unnecessary. You are no exception. Shoot. Grip my teeth and stop myself from yelling out. I just remembering makes me white out and I run into a pole or something. No, it'd be easy if I could do that. If I was just angry at Saber, I could take it out on something. That's not the case with this fury. It's not just Saber I'm mad at. It's so vexing I keep running so hard I hate to admit how weak I am. Saber was standing there absent-mindedly. The words she said, just as the wind changed directions. Like you would understand, Shiro. You idiot. I don't understand. But then regretted so much that I almost fall. What was that about? Her voice, like a farewell, sounded like she was crying. Come to think of it, maybe those words were the only honest thing that she could say. Those words murmured with her held heart. A voice of hope, disappointment, wishes. Then, who was the betrayer? Who was betrayed? I ran to my room and shut the door. I collapse. I don't want to stand up. I just want to lie down and go to sleep. My body is still burning. My heart feels like it's splitting open, and my lungs are desperate for air. I ran at full speed from the bridge. My body must be exhausted. I haven't run enough emotionally. My body was telling me to calm down. I slowly calmed down. Take a deep breath and let it out. I'm going to settle my breathing. All that fills my head is the question why I was so enraged. I don't even have to think about it. I ran, as if throwing something off me because I was so powerless. I can't save Saber. That fact is so vexing that I was angry at myself. I can't do anything. I promised to make her laugh. I promised to protect her. I can't do anything. That makes me furious. What can I do? It's useless for anyone to say anything if Saber herself doesn't want happiness. That's why I tried hard, so she'd be able to find her own happiness. But she told me that it was meaningless. On top of that, she called me a fool. A fool who doesn't even value his own life, huh? What can I do when she says that? I value my life as well, and I don't want to do anything that might endanger it. Bullshit! But this has nothing to do with Saber. I think it's unfair for her to bring that up right there. No matter how stupid I am, I'm sure Saber is wrong. But if she denies me like that, I can't do anything. She can do whatever she likes. Put my head and lie on my stomach. The floor is only view, so I close my eyes and blacken my mind. That's it. I don't care about Saber anymore. The Holy Grail is so important to her, she can go marry it. She's so obstinate. She doesn't understand. I've told her this much. I would be burned if I associate with her anymore. I've already been hurt, though. Not just burned. I met her, followed her many times, even saw the depths into her heart to survive. That heat. I remember that light deep within her. Why do I recall such a thing at a time like this? Just that faraway plain, the memories that girl left behind. I recall that beauty, no matter what Saber says. Something only used to fight. Then don't show your weak parts. Anyway, Saber is unfair. I don't know what's so unfair. I think it's unfair that I don't know what's unfair. I can't hate her even though I'm this mad. The more I try to ignore her, the more I can't. It's such a contradiction. Her whole existence is unfair. I can't hate her no matter what. It's the only one who love loses. But I can't help it. I can't give up no matter how useless she tells me. I have to keep trying until the very end. No matter how Saber hates and regrets me. I believe I'm right. I thought you would understand. Remember her face about to cry. In the future, she make the face of every time I repeat this. Still, I can't agree no matter what. Even if I'm wrong and Saber's right. Even if she's really important to me and I can never apologize for her. I thought I heard a sound. In the sunset, the room is dark. The room is sick. The clock is noisy. How long are you going to sleep? I need you to wake up. Wake up already. It's past 10 o'clock. Ilya is bugging me to get dinner ready. So wake up and keep her company. Angry voice. Wake up completely. Past 10? It's 10:17 to me. It's way past dinner time. Those girls look flabbergasted. Sorry, I fell asleep right away. Wait for me in the room. Where's Saber? She's not here. You're the Dojo living room. Sure. I'm asking you because she's not here. Tosuka is serious. Tell me the situation. She's not bad. What do you mean by that? Tosuka runs out of the room after me. I don't have time to explain. I've run outside ignoring Tosuka's words behind me. The town is quiet. Worlds like yesterday were all signs that people have vanished. I don't have enough composure to think of strange from now. Saber isn't back. Come to think of it, it's actually natural. We argued so much. She said she would fight by herself. But considering her personality, she really would go fight by herself. Saber could be anywhere. It's possible that I won't find her. And she's fighting Lancer right now. But still, I came here first. The air by the river is cold. The park is so cold, it feels like a frost packed here. My breath is white, my cheeks and ears hurt. So cold here. How cold must be on the bridge where the wind from the river rises. That is where she is standing. Light hair fluffy. Saber's looking at the river, not doing anything. She's looking at the long-gone sunset. Her gaze at the distance seems watching the red horizon that's just already dissipated. That makes me realize. She's strong yet so weak. Her gallant figure must be proof she could not live without anybody's help. But she is also so weak that my hand might go through her if I reach out. She can't do it alone. She defends her pride until the end. That's why. The same for me, watching the stars that I cannot be reached. She stares at the distant set sun, as if she knows nothing else. I can't leave her alone. If I lost, it was a complete loss for me. It made me swear to myself I would never let her see such a face. I walk on the bridge, making sounds, but Saber doesn't notice. I walk towards her in silence and stand next to her. Saber, you'll freeze if you stay out here. She jumps. She must have finally noticed me.
シロ
Shiro. Saber turns around as if to question.
何してんだよ
What are you doing out so late?
いつまでも
Those
帰
are
って
good
こな
with
いから
words since you didn't come home.
そうですか
See, I should apologize
別
for it.
にいいけどな
It's fine, but why were you here? Well, it doesn't
だ
matter.
ってこんなと
It
ころ
was
に
easy
いたんだ
for me to find you.
はい
I was still
ここ
here
にいたのは
because I
まだ
did
行
not
き
yet
先が決まってい
know
な
where
か
to
っ
go.
たシロは勝手に
You
しろ
told
と
me
言
to
っ
do
た
as I
でしょ
wished, so I tried to do so.
けれど何をするべき
But I
か
could not think of what I should
何
do
をしたいのか
or where I want to go.
どこに行きたい
I
の
was
か
thinking
思
all
い浮
of
か
the
べ
time where I should be going. She speaks like a lost child. She just feel guilty. The saber keeps averting her gaze. We did not have that big fight. It's only natural for her to think I'm still mad.
申し訳ありません
I'm sorry. Please tell Rin she is helping me
ラン
very
サー
much.
を倒し
I shall return to you once the Defeat Lancer and get the Holy Grail.
聖杯を手に入れたのなら
So until then. She's saying she'll wander around with the pledge of return.
何言って
What
る
are
ん
you
だ
talking about? You're
お
coming
前
back to my
飯
house,
だっ
right?
て布団だって
I prepared your bed.
ちゃんとセイブ
You
ですがシ
said
ロはも
you
う
don't understand.
そうだよ
That's right.
セイ
I
ブ
don't
が
know
何
what
か
you're thinking. So say, take Saber's hand.
うちに帰る
Let's
ぞ
go home. Even a servant will catch a
いくら
cold if
サ
they
ーバ
see
ン
how
トだ
quickly.
からって
Let's hurry
こんな
back.
冷えたら
I need something warm.
あの
Okay, but I
それと
won't
文句
apologize
が
to
あ
you.
るなら
Do
今
you have
の
any
うちに
complaints?
言っ
Tell me now. This is Rudely looking away from Saber. Looks at me astonished. She looks like she wants to apologize, but I ignore her. That must have worked on her. Saber doesn't say anything, follows the while holding my hand. We come down from the bridge and into the park. It's 11 o'clock. There's nobody in the park, and it's overly decorated with such things like the fountain and streetlights. We keep walking. Saber is walking slowly. She was standing on that bridge for more than 5 hours. Must be freezing and tired as well. She falls forward sometimes as I pull her by the hand.
セイバ
Should I walk
ー
slow,
も
Saber?
う少し
You don't seem to be doing well. Turn around to check.
いえ
I feel fine.
ただその
Just that
リ
it's
ンの
not
言
because
葉
of
に踊らされる
Rin.
わけではありま
It
せん
seems like a rendezvous.
Post it,
We
Dios,
are holding
Naruto.
hands like this.
え
So, hearing that, I feel him face burn.
そうだ
Yeah.
なその
Like a,
手
I mean, if you don't like it.
いいえ
No, this is fine. Your hand is warm and very comforting. The conversation ends right there. I walk to hide my embarrassment. Saber suddenly accompanies me. How much farther till the mansion? I feel embarrassed by the warmth in my hand as I leave the park. Many things happen today. But if it ends with this warmth, I can change religion and start to pray with that priest. But the instant I think
ど
so,
こに行く
where are you going?
勝手に人のもの
Do
を
not
持ってい
take
く
what is mine,
小僧
kid. We meet someone we should not have met. My happy mind freezes in an instant. Goosebumps. My throat won't move, as if forgotten how to breathe.
シロ
Shiro. It must be the same for Saber behind me. Her hand holds me tightly, just as I feel unavoidable death. Saber, too, feels inconceivable desperation.
待たせたなセイバー
I've kept you waiting, Saber.
約束通り
I have come for you as
こうして
promised.
あーじゃ
Archer. The Golden Servant. The unknown heroic spirit who swept away the bone creatures and even cast her herself without any difficulty. That monster is in front of us. He's too close to a distance of which we could start fighting. We wanted to face death greater than Berserker.
どうしたセイバー
What's wrong, Saber? I have come
俺がわざわざ
especially for
い
you.
つまでも黙っているのは
Be rude to
無礼
stay
だ
silent.
それとも
Or do you intend to play around for a bit before you become my King of Knights? Butcher flies his laughter happily. His eyes aren't looking at me. He's only watching Saber. With his rude red eyes, he's looking at her as if valuing a work of art. Saber's presence changes. She must have prepared herself. Unlike me, unable to move a finger, while his glaring enemy
シロ
servant. Shiro.
なんと
I'll
しても
block his
衝
first
撃だ
attack
け
but
は
I
防
won't.
ぎます
Please retreat
そ
from
の
here in
隙
that time.
それがどれほど困難か
I
分
know
か
how
ってい
hard
ま
this
す
is,
あのサーバント相手
but
で
that is all I
そ
can
れが
manage
精一
against this
杯
servant. Rebecca asks me to forgive her. Even Saber can only manage to block his first attack. The chance of success of retreating from a guy like this is low. Saber's asking for my forgiveness for that low chance. Probably. She knows she has no way to defeat that servant. She can't do that. This is different from when we fought Berserker. For some reason, I know that making Saber fight the servant would be bad. No, I may know the reason. I felt it when I saw his noble phantasm last night. Saber will not be able to beat this man no matter what. He's not about skills as a swordsman. For that, the prerequisites are wrong. As long as they are heroic spirits, no heroic spirit will be able to beat him. No. You're the one who's running away, Saber. Shiro. I cover Saber and face Archer. Oh. Yeah, you had a master, huh? He was so shabby I thought it was a dog or something. He says happily. The man raises his hand and slowly brings his fingers together. I feel sick. I'll be killed if I don't retreat now. There's no reason or logic behind it. I feel instinctively that I'll be killed if I stay in front of him. Go, Saber! Just me left. You should be able to self you even against him. I push Saber away. Run! Premonition of death attack. The only thing I can do. Run up, project Saber's sword like when I fought Berserker, and my body flies. What happened? The instant the man clicked his fingers, something appeared beside me. I could tell it was a big hammer, and that I was smashed away, flying off the ground like trash. Move. Really, my bones in my body are broken. I can't feel my limbs. My pain is numbed. I can't even tell if I'm alive or not. I will not kill you. Saber would disappear if I killed you now. It's against my will, but I shall let you live until the Holy Grail appears. The man laughs. I move my hands to try to get up, but my body won't move at all. My blood isn't flowing. It feels like the energy to move my body stopped reaching my limbs. Oh, you do not be conceited, mongrel. There are always ways to let a servant stay in this world without you. It is just that this is the least troublesome state. I will kill you if you annoy me. That kills my mind. He will kill me. If I move anymore, he will do so without hesitation. How could anyone move after be told that? Shiro! Saber tries to run to me. Where are you going? There's no one left to intrude. That piece of shit is not a man we should be running to. The man won't allow that. He stands before me and waits for Saber to come to him. Saber stops glaring at the man. There's about 10 meters between them. The distance, Saber will be able to close instantly, but... It seems you are not willing to come to me. I find it hard to understand. A heroic spirit like you must know how valuable it is to be chosen by me. Nonsense. I am a king even though I'm a heroic spirit. I will not submit to you. Is that so? Even if you are a king, you are still a woman. It should be a woman's joy to bow her head before a man who serves him. So why do you refuse? It is not like you are an ignorant child. Are you scared to become mine? You do not resent me so. I do not only take. I shall give you the pleasure equally. If you become mine, I will literally give you everything in this world. Be proud. I have accepted you as of such value. The man moves. He opens his arms as if to accept Saber. Such a friend. You don't need to be a guardian, nor will you need to return to the point of your death. I'll say this one more, Saber. Be mine. Let's enjoy our second lives in this world. I refuse. I have no interest in such things. Most of all, I do not want to live with you. She does not nod or retreat. Saber looks at Archer head on. He stops. I don't know what's so funny, but the man starts laughing. Great, that is what I expect from the woman I chose. Yes. There must be at least one that will not obey me. Alright. Then I shall do so with force. After I obtain the Holy Grail, I shall pour its contents onto you. Rejoice, Saber. You will not need your master after that. You'll be taking all the power of the omnipotent vessel. You shall not be familiar to humans like the servants. The man says so with satisfaction. To that, Saber replies, Archer, what is your intention? She must have realized that fighting is the only way. Saber asks for her enemy's reasons at the end. Intention? I do not remember. Unfortunately, I've obtained everything, so there's nothing I wish for. So you do not seek the Holy Grail. Holy Grail? Oh, immortality! Gave to that snake. You gave immortality to a snake? Saber's presence freezes. What was this conversation? Saber shakes her head and tries to deny the word. But then this world is interesting. Basic principles do not change. If the decorations are so elaborate, it seems different when you come this far. In this case, it will not be too bad to reign over this world. Yes, I think that is my intent. If it will let me do it efficiently, the Holy Grail is not without use.
支配欲か
Desire to
見
really
下げ
split
果て
part.
たなアーチ
You
ャ
seek the Holy Grail for such a purpose. I do not seek it. Everything in this world is mine. I just do not like others using what is mine. You should hate it too, having your holy sword used by strangers. Saber's body grows misty. A brief flash, Saber is wearing her silver armor. Oh, man does not even move. Next, it's it. Saber dashes forward, runs up man, slashing a visible sword with deadly speed. Repelled, Saber jumps backward. If Saber's armor materialized from magical energy, his armor must be the same as well. In short, the battle has armed himself. Saber looks calmly at Archer, holding her sword ready. Even with her stare, the man will not stop smiling. Alright, I shall allow you to oppose me, Saber. The enemy happily announces the beginning of the battle. The white light flashes through the darkness. Saber, running through Golden Night without hesitation, flashes his sword down, surrounded by lightning. One blow, 2, 3, 4. Each time Saber's sword finds an enemy, the binding light is released. The combination is like a strobe. It's just like what I first saw Saber fighting when she saw Lancer. Saber drives magical energy into her sword and strikes with it. The sword and armor clash. The man hasn't even drawn his weapon yet. Saber's sword is in front of him. He's just protecting his head with his hands. That man does not have the skill to block Saber's sword. Saber's much better than this man in sword technique. On top of that, Saber's sword is invisible. Even the man had a weapon. I do not know if he'd be able to block that invisible sword. The invisible sword keeps hitting the man's armor. The sword smashes against the armor, shatters it, shaves it, letting off lightning sparks. All the man can do, protect his head with his hands. This is not even a match. This is just one-sided elimination. But still, the golden armor retains its shape. The armor is free of damage, even after taking Saber's attack so many times. Could it be that his noble phantasm is his golden armor? I guess any more would be bad. I certainly have a large supply of magical energy. My armor does not give out often, but the enemy who merely defended raises his arm. Not towards Saber, don't know why. The man raises at the night sky. Not playing around. Offer me your bottle, right? This is an illusion. In his hand. A short sword like a key in his hand. Saber attacks with all her power. But the enemy repels with a dark red sword. The noble phantasm bearing a curse of vengeance. This is yourself glances at the sword in the enemy's hand. That fact, the enemy has revealed his weapon as its threat. At the same time, it means the enemy's attacks are revealed. It doesn't matter if his noble phantasm was a sword or armor, as long as you can see it, if you're able to deal with it. Saber readies herself. As the man, his armor is at his limit. Saber relaunches her fierce barrage of attacks, she'll be able to slash him through his armor. Even if he has brought out his noble phantasm, it won't make a difference the fact that the next blow will set him off. This is it. It's to decide this match we cannot finish before. Archer. The saber in her hands is still invisible. Bending the holy sword seal in wind, Saber stares at her. It seems Saber knows about what that noble phantasm is. That she intentionally distanced herself. And since she knows how to deal with it, she's confronting the enemy straight on. If their noble phantasms are swords, and if the sword's abilities are equal, the deciding factor is how the sword technique. By that theory, Saber has to win. Alright, then come at me. The difference, I shall show you everything I have. The man laughs. Fine. Saber charges without hesitation. Saber's sword will slash his armor for sure, the instant I think that. Babylon. An invisible door opens behind them. Saber's body stops. The weapon's enemy take different previous dark red sword. The first is an invisible sword like our Saber's. As soon as Saber defends against it, the man is holding yet another sword. The Sword of Ice. She twists her body to avoid it, but the space sword goes through freezes. Saber retreats covered in ice. The ice starts to break, and the enemy holds a sickle-like weapon. She tries to block it through approaching her neck with her gauntlet, but it's useless. The sickle goes through her arm, like the gauntlet isn't there, and takes away her magical energy, as if cutting her bone, not her flesh or blood. Saber totters but manages to stay standing. It's a different kind of retreat now. Not to distance yourself and prepare next attack. It's a desperate retreat, just to get away from the enemy.
そんな
That is impossible. Saber glares at the enemy, drawing magical energy to her arm. Many handles are floating around the land. That is what Slaughter casting. And those are noble phantoms of the Golden Knight who cornered Saber. It's a scene that makes me even doubt my own eyes. These handles floating behind it. Surely those are noble phantoms. Not just 10 or 20. No, even though I can't see them, I feel like they are infinite. From all times and places. As if to say, that servant has all the divine mysteries from every legend.
アーチャー
Archer, who are you? Saber's voice is trembling. The servant will not answer when asked their true identity. But the enemy's noble phantom is so strange that Saber has to
答えなさいアーチャー
answer me, Archer. A heroic
英
spirit
霊
can
が持
only
つ
have
宝
one
具は一つだ
noble
けの
phantom.
はず
No, some have more,
いえ
but two should be the
中には
limit.
複数の宝具を持っている者もいますが
Three.
だとしても2つが限度だ
Three should be the limit. Now, in this game, well, in the division level, I believe every servant basically has two noble phantasms on average. Or 1 to 2. Or in the case of Lancer, one that could be used two different ways. But officially, I believe now, on average, it's 3, with the rare exceptions that have 4.
そのように
A rogue spirit with infinite phantasms cannot exist.
存在す
Cannot
るは
exist.
ずがない
You will jump into conclusions, Saber.
英霊は
The rogue
生
spirits,
前
noble
用い
phantasms,
た
are the
武器
weapons
を
they
放
had
棄
when
す
they
る
were alive. So
な
this is a
らば
simple
単
story.
純な話
All
で
noble
は
phantasms are things I collected while I was alive.
私を侮ってい
Are
る
you
のかアー
insulting
チ
me,
ャー
Archer? That is even more
あ
impossible.
なたが何
No
者で
matter
あろ
who
う
you
と
are, it would be impossible for you
他
to
の英
collect
霊
all
た
the
ちの
noble
シンボル
phantasms.
たる宝具を
Symbol
揃
for
え
a
ら
rogue
れるは
spirit.
ずがない
No such heroic spirit exists. Saber's right. All the noble phantasms he has are real. There are no demonic swords from Northern Europe, demonic swords from South America. No hero made his name in many different places. But first of all, only Lancer has gay bulk. Not true, but okay. The heroic spirit noble phantasms are the weapons they had when they were alive. By its rule, as soon as he has gay bulk, he has Q Hu Lane. But he's not Q Hu Lane. So that lance cannot be gay bulk. The thing is, that is definitely gay bulk. So we could explain if it was a fake, but as long as it's real, the contradiction is... Wait, no, hold on. Original. The model of the weapon. It can't be, but wait. It is possible. Myths and legends do not start from nothing. All myths have a common point because their single foundation became their model. Because all legends, objects of fate, are only those who originate in the land. The demonic swords and holy swords start to have the abilities around that time. But before that, what if the noble phantasms in myth and legend have formed before they were given names?
おお
Oh, is your master is not so bad after all. It seems he has a hunch about my true identity. Saber looks toward me. So far away. I can't even help her. She's so far away. Ooh, pointed. Run, Saber. The noble phantasm is
本物だ
real,
そう
right?
単純な
Yes, it
話
is
だ
really simple.
最も古い
Let me tell you about the most ancient time
ま
when
だ
the
世界
world
が
was still
一つ
one.
その国は栄え
That kingdom flourished,
王はあ
and
ら
the
ゆ
king
る財
collected
宝を
every
収
treasure
集
in the
し
world.
集められるものなど
There was nothing he could not
足りる
collect.
ものなど
He
ない
lacked nothing.
王は完璧な
The
宝
king had
物
a perfect treasury and
その
masses
中
of
にある
weapons
無造
were
無造
never
の武
used,
器は
but instead went to sleep with the king.
要はそれだけの
The
話だ
story is that simple.
王の死後
After the king's death, the contents of the treasury room spread all over the world.
名剣で
They
あ
were
るがゆえ
valued
に
because
重
they were
宝され
splendid
活
swords.
躍し
They eventually became
い
noble
ずれ宝
phantasms.
わかるか
Do you
騎士
understand, King of Knights?
お前たちの扱う
Noble
宝具とやら
phantasms,
は
you
もともと
are
は
just king's
その
possessions. Like inheritance. If you go back hard enough, the model must exist. So it's only natural for every legend, myth, folklore, noble phantasm to have an original model. Except for a handful. For example, Excalibur doesn't. And there's a few others that also doesn't. But usually those are ones that are built upon something else, or were created for a specific moment, so they don't really have original. They are the original. Calibur, for example, which will come up later, is no... In that case, yeah, there is no original. It has an original. Excalibur does not. Hence. And, in the distant past, if it were possible to collect all their models, then one possess all the noble phantasms. Only one hero could correspond to that. One with origins in a legend far older than that of King Arthur or Heracles. One set to rule over ancient Mesopotamia. The half-god, half-human king who collected treasures as he wished and sought immortality at the end. His name was Gilgamesh, mankind's oldest king of heroes. She sounds as if she's holding back fear. The Golden Knight, Gilgamesh, accepted the shock with satisfaction. Indeed, I am the strongest heroic spirit. You shall be no match. The Golden Knight moves forward. There's nothing else to talk about. All that remains is for him to use as many noble phantasms to defeat his enemy. You would still oppose me even after you know my name. You must know you have no chance of winning. There's no one else I try. Even the King of Heroes must have something you cannot surpass. Saber surrenders bravely. The wind starts to whirl and becomes raging gale the protector. At the same time, the golden sword appears. No, Saber. Can't be. Saber's going to use Excalibur. Gilgamesh stops. You must too know the Holy Sword's power as his composure vanishes. Saber keeps staring at Gilgamesh, looks in my direction for an instant. Is she trying to tell me to run? Gilgamesh has his back to the river. Saber is over here. Must have been why she attacked him earlier. Before she realized it, Saber's confronting Gilgamesh to protect me. No, you can't use it here. I'm restricting my limbs. Even if I try to move my numb body, all I can is one of my arms. But if I collect magical energy in my body, it raises my body with that one arm. Damn it. My senses were gone, but every bone in my body starts to scream once I start moving. The pain is a warning. The pain is telling me I will break if I move any further. I ignore it and raise my body up. Bear my pain. I don't have any time to deal with it. I have to get up quickly and protect him, because I have a bad feeling about this. Premonition when I face that enemy. You will never be able to beat him. It's an instinctive feeling. I should never let Saber fight him. It won't go away. A holy sword, eh? Fine. Twirly wind, now raging storm. Even with the holy sword shining in front of him, the Golden Knight doesn't back away. Moreover, then I shall use a weapon appropriate against it. He pulls a conqueror's sword from the gate behind him. That's the cause of my bad feeling. The sword does not appear in any legend. I could identify every one of the noble phantasms that were floating behind it, and even I could not tell what that sword is. I have the original models of all noble phantasms, but they were all nameless. I am not their only possessor. A cylindrical sword. The sword made of 3 parts, each with turning slowly in different directions. It seems the rock drilled to pierce through a hard surface. But this is different. This is truly a sword that only the King of Heroes possesses. It has no name, but I just call it Aya. Are you saying she'll compare strength of our noble phantasms? Like concentrates. There are only about 10 meters between them. Within that distance, Gilgamesh shouldn't even be able to dodge her attacks. But you don't need to hold back. I've always wanted to take that sword. The sword said to be most powerful. To the part. You must consider that provocation. Then try to defend yourself against this my sword. Saber's sword moved. Her lips moved to say its true name. There's nowhere to run now. The Nova hasn't released with its true name will smash all of its power onto Gilgamesh. Your turn. Wake up. Aya. As the cylindrical sword Aya roars. In response to Gilgamesh's word, 3 blades turned into whirling sound. If Saber's Excalibur bringing on a whirlwind by releasing wind, Gilgamesh's air creates a storm by swallowing the surrounding areas. Excellent. Saber's more experienced with anti-casting than behind him. It's faster than Aya's whirl. Saber poured magical energy into the sword to its limit. In a matter of seconds, it executes it with greater power. Excalibur. There is no hesitation. Saber releases the noble holy sword that can even split a river in 2. Just before that, Enuma Elish. A life of the same magnitude takes on Excalibur's life. A huge impact. The raging winds knock over trees, and the crashing lights are like an exploding, burning my eyes. My body is almost blown away by the wind. I managed to dig myself into the ground with one hand and endure the wave of lightning heat, along with its conflict clouds. The battle between the two that makes me feel the earth is split in twos. Suddenly ended with her figure surrounded by a white light. A crash. I hear something falling right beside me. Saber. What is it? I can tell even with blinded eyes. I thought she might be dead. That's how torn up Saber is. In the distance, the Golden King laughing crazily, unscathed. But the most powerful blue sword is only that strong. Humanity's illusions are mere child's play after all. His laugh is highly pitched, and it seems it will carry over from the burning air into the heavens. That much fun. He doesn't even look at Saber as he laughs for his own sake. Saber. There's no reply. Blood gushes out. Once again, I don't have status for some reason. Try to grasp. My vision turns red. What was I doing? I knew this was going to happen. I knew Saber would be able to beat Gilgamesh, so why didn't stop it with using my command? It's rather boring. A complete victory for me, huh? I'm disappointing. You could not even offset my attacks. Oh, I see. I should have taken it easier on you. After all, I am fighting women and children. An irritating laugh. The responsibility is mine. I thought she could win. No matter how bad I felt, I thought Saber's Excalibur would be able to beat him. That's why even though I told her to stop, my command spell didn't react. I wasn't serious. If I really wanted to protect Saber, I could have run away using my command spell. And there would have been infinite ways for me to fight by myself. Okay. Let me have you know, you are dirty. You would have eventually ended up the same way. There's no problem that you are hurt now. The laughter approaches. She must have noticed. Saber is faintly opens her eyes. Saber, are you alright? I can see her breathing, but I can't touch her or reach her. My body still won't move, and I can't breathe eventually. So I can only call her Saber. Saber! Saber's mouth opens, breathing, asking for help, and as if painful. Shiro, are you there? She raises a faint voice, telling me she cannot see me. Hold on, calm. I can't say I'll help her. I'm on the ground too, and I can only move my arms. I can call her and encourage her. You can't even see me in this ugly state. So, I have been defeated. A soft voice looks at me. No light in her eyes. I am sorry. Please run away, master. She says something absurd while coughing up blood. My vision turns red with anger. I completely defended Saber unconsciously, and this is the result? I can't even stand up after a sudden attack. I grab my head with only one arm that moves. I want to kill myself, so I put the strength in the hand as it squashed my head. A firing hammer goes down. I take a switch, turn myself into a match, smash it down with a hammer instead of my finger. Never use it again. Projection magic is beyond your level. Those like those words. She says magic beyond one's level will destroy the caster's circuits and nerves. So what? She's more important. If I can't protect her, I don't need my body. She has helped me many times. It was never in anyone I cared so much about. So, if I can't protect Emiya Shirsh can just die here. I can hear the sounds of metal. Metallic magical energy reinforcing all the bones in my body and all the broken parts of my body. I'll give it everything I have. I'll put in the highest rotation. Start ignoring my limits. I'll create as much magical energy as possible. Yeah. My spine catches fire as if my whole body grows red hot. I bite my tongue to bear the feeling of my brain melting. I bite down on the pink flesh. If I can keep conscious just by making a hole in my tongue, there's no problem. The footsteps stop. His laughter stops as well. Wait, sure. What are you doing? Your body will. Must feels, even though she can't see. Saber screams, trying to get back up. That makes my last powers turn on. I stand back up. The body that obeyed me starts to move because the magical energy poured in past its limits. This is setting the body on fire to make it run towards water. I don't care. It's better than watching Saber get hurt. That's right. I finally realized with my mind about to be burned away. From the beginning, I swore to hold the sword because I didn't want to see her hurt. But I'm telling you to run, so why? I obstruct the enemy. Saber is behind me. Now, I cannot even take one step back. Trace, on. I hold down my brain, which is rolling. The fire managed my mind. I imagine only one thing. I'll divide projection into 8 sections. Create lost sword end. I feel something hard in my left hand. I don't even need to look to check. The second manufacture. Sword proved successful, without slowing down even once. Sorry. No, still not enough. You must not. You can't beat him with that. If you can move, please run away. I won't. I came to pick you up, so I can't run home by myself. I ready my sword. I hold the sword heavier than a shinai and glare at the enemy. Stop. This enemy man is. I take Saber's word and step forward. There's 4 meters between us. If I step forward with all my might, I'll be able to attack him. The Saber. The enemy doesn't move. Gilgamesh watches me for a second, then laughs. I guess I'll kill you. He says so in a emotionless voice. Instantly attack. You. I spray my body aside to move the attack. But I'm not fast enough. If the first attack was second guess, the next barrage of attacks is raging. Parrying is all I can do. No. I wouldn't even be able to block the first attack by myself. It's fortunate that it reproduced its memory when I reproduced the sword. A sword with a long past hold will and experience. This sword must already be familiar with such attacks. I can't judge Gilgamesh's attack, but this sword is able to. The sword reacts to his attacks before my hands do. I swing to follow the sword, and as a result, I can block his attack. That doesn't last long. My fingers every time I swing, and slowly I cannot catch up with the sword. Mongrel, you are worse than the psyche. You must dislike even the slight resistance. He glares at me in anger and retreats a bit. Thank God. If he kept attacking me, I would not have been able to last more than a few seconds. Take a deep breath and try to control my breathing, and then... You filthy imitator. If you like it so much, I shall show you the real one. He takes out his sword. That is a familiar sword. The ornamentation on it is different, but its true nature, the idea of its creation, and its soul are too close to this sword's model. It is. But strike those noble fancies incomparable. What you have is the sword in stone, originated from the legend of the sword of the supremacy tree in northern Europe. But this is the original one, the foundation of the sacred right of the Legend of the King. The sword of supremacy in the tree, the ram, the demonic sword of Sigmund, the hero of northern Europe, the original model. Children cannot defeat their parents. An imitation deteriorates every time it is renewed, cannot match the original model. Light runs. The sword understands. And anything. This is the same attack that terminated Berserker in one slash. It must be protecting its owner. The sword in my hands goes for the enemy's sword of power. The name don't find him is Caliburn, the golden sword of assured victory, but he is destroyed without a trace by the sword called Marduk, the original sin. I hear something sliding to the ground. Sliding. Is the ground in the park slippery because it's level? I slide across the ground. I finally come to a stop. Sure. That voice makes me so loud. Oh shit. You're pretty near me. Thinking so, I'm relieved. Not that I was blown away, but it's fine if Saber's nearby. All I have to do is get up and come running to Saber. Look at my arm, which busts. It's red. My arm is surrounded by a red membrane. There's no blood coming out.
動くな
Do not move.
もういい
Please do not move, Shiro. I can hear Saber's voice. It seems my body has been injured. That attack. I'm sure I was blown away by Gilgamesh's sword. So the wound must be... Oh, I see. I understand why Saber's acting like that. I can only move my right hand. My left hand won't move. First of all, my left shoulder isn't attached to my body. Ah. I can't even breathe. Diagonally cut from my left shoulder. As my body is cut shoulder down, it's separated into Lego pieces that don't fit together. Looks like Jingaku beef. I've been cut from my shoulder down to my waist. It's strange that I'm alive. But that miracle should soon run out. I'm barely conscious right now, my vision narrows by the second. First of all, my insides will fall out if I move. Maybe I'm already dead and my mind is lingering like a ghost. Ooh! I see. You'd be scattered.
なんだ
But you are rather
見事
tough,
に
I see.
散らばったと思
Clinging
った
to
が
life is
存
only
外
merit
に
for a
しぶと
mongrel. He laughs. Honestly, I'm thankful. The more irritated he is, the more my mind stays conscious. Pretty good.
だがそこまでだ
But that is all. A lion
貴様
doesn't
に
suit
獅
you.
子は似
I
合わ
will
ん
take that woman. Footsteps. The sound from walking to obtain Saber for sure this time. Ah, yes. Dead end. Stand up! What do you mean, stand up? Like you think... You think not standing up is the right decision? No, it's stand up. Why? Because he's trying to take Saber away from you. I put power to my right hand. I grab the ground, raise my half-sliced body. I see Saber's face for an instant. She looks like she's about to cry. Proud of myself for falling in love with her.
待て
Hold on, I'm not done yet. I raise my body with just one arm. My legs won't move. The magical energy I force in my body to move has depleted. The only thing remaining is my beating heart and organs screaming in pain.
ほう
Oh,
未練
lingering affection. I would assume so.
だろう
This
ね
treasure is beyond you.
あれ
I
はお
understand
前
how you
の
must
住ん
feel.
だ
It
宝だ
must really be vexing to have
そ
it
の気
taken
持ちは
away
わ
by
からん
another
でもな
man.
い
That does it. I can't stand his talking. Say, don't talk like that. You're treating Saber as an object. Put my power to my right arm. Is there metal in it? Hear creaking noise. My body reacts to my wishes. I get up on one knee. Do as I tell you. I put power to my body. As I do so, the things I need to live flow
な
up.
ぜもう無
Why
理
do
だ
you
と
understand that he's useless now? Saber's voice is almost insulting. She's a long way away. From a distant place, she is watching me in vexation. I ignore it and keep trying. Saber's voice is just a burden. Not my blood, body, nor Gilgamesh, but Saber is my greatest enemy now. Because if she objects to an expression like that, my mind will die. Finally, my knee finally has strength. All that left to stand.
いらない
No,
あなたの
I don't
助
need
け
your
などい
help.
りません
As I have been defeated, I am not your sword
こ
anymore.
のまま
Disappearing like this,
このまま
and
消
the
える
end
の
for a second. Saber's voice. Damn. If she interrupts me anymore, I'll get even madder.
ただ
No, please stop, Shiro. You can't go on.
それ以上
You'll
はダメ
already
だ
die. If you die here, I will... How could she say such a selfless thing without knowing how I feel?
うるさい
Shut up. Just be quiet for a
いい
second.
か
What is this? You can rely on me.
それは違うし
That's not true.
優先
Please
順
do
位を間違
not
え
get
ない
your
でほし
priorities
い
wrong.
私の身などどうでもいいそんなものより
My
あな
life.
たは自身の命を第一にする
Put
べき
your
だ
life first, rather than such a thing. She sounds like she's begging. My mind almost collapses, thinking that I'm making her sound like that.
断れ
I refuse. There's nothing I want more than you. I cannot accept those words. Saber looks at me in astonishment. I don't know why she looks like that, but I remember. He told me I was a fool, who didn't know the value of his own life. I think she's right. It's too conceited for someone who can't even think about himself to try to help someone else. That's just complacent happiness. But it's unstable happiness with the other party. The most important person is yourself. That kind of person probably can become happy and share their happiness. Yeah, I'm certainly a fool who doesn't consider his own life. I was wrong. What's most important? Since that day, that seat has been empty. But I'm grateful for that mentality, because it's in that empty seat, sitting a person I want to save from the bottom of my heart.
けどなセイバ
But Saber, This wouldn't change even if I valued my life above all.
きっとそれ以上
You
に
are more beautiful than that.
セイバー
There's
は
nothing
綺麗
inside
な
of me that can take your place. That makes me realize. I didn't feel sympathy for her. The girl I saw in my dream. She fought alone and died alone. I thought she was unrewarded. At the same time, I was turned by her. Just as I thought she was beautiful, she pulled out the sword and ran through her life without looking back. Her life itself was brilliant.
そうだ
That's right.
だから
So I have to protect her. So that you, all alone, won't be engulfed in darkness in your last moments. That's right. So that in your last moments on the verge of your death, you can be proud of your life. My doubts disappear. My path is so clear.
俺
Sorry. I love you more than anything to say.
だか
Or
ら
I
あん
won't
なやつ
give
にお
you
前は渡
to
さ
a
な
guy
い
like him. After I say that, I regret apologizing to her. But I had to say it. Wanted to say now, at this moment, because there would be no impurities mixed in my words. I hear her gasp. I wanted to turn around and see, but I won't since I can't really see anymore. I get up. I can still fight if my heart is beating. My magical energy is my life. As long as my heart is beating, I'll be able to keep recreating her soul.
よく立った
Well done. So now what? What can you do now? Feel a burning heat in my right hand. Perhaps it's because I'm close to death. I remember 10 years ago. It's a terrible illusion. My body, it feels like it's still in that fire, reaching out for me.
うせろ
Go away.
お
I
前
can't give saber to you. In his right hand and say that.
たわけ
Fool, I didn't need your consent. The enemy raises his sword. Get down, Shiro. I hear Saber's voice from behind me. I ignore it, use my remaining magical energy. I project that sword once more. And I'm stuck by that light. Even though it's not striking Excalibur, the light that everything touches is coming for me. Feeling the heat of my body, I don't think about death, but about Saber behind me. She'll be dragged in like this. So I have to at least protect her. I said I'd protect Saber. Yes, I wanted to protect her. She's strong, but at the same time, she could have broken down at any moment. So I have to hold steady. It's like a drawn sword. So I have to help her so she doesn't get hurt. And then, where is it? Something like a sword in my right hand. Sword is that. Hesitation only for an instant. At the same moment of the Golden Knight, the absolute victor retreats. Sure, let me. Saber takes my hand. The rising light stops. Right beside me is Saber. Right before me is Gilgamesh, opening his eyes and bleeding. I don't know what happened, but I know this is a repeat of the battle against Berserker. Saber used something I made in defeating Gilgamesh's sword. The light pushed back. It must have injured him. He was unscathed until now. A frightening, murderous intent. It feels like he's going to kill everything in order to calm down. The Golden Knight leaves silently. I don't even have time to be surprised. I don't even know why he left. But even my fading mind knows that the battle is over. My knee gives way. All tension disappears, my body falls to the ground. Shiro. Saber instantly supports me. As Saber supported me, I look down at my body. Without a gasp. My wounds are so bad, they cannot be treated. My body, cut from left shoulder, should have died instantly. This is too. I'm barely alive because of the healing power, but it must have its limits. My body is almost split in two. I'm sure nothing will affect my body now. I can't tell if I'm breathing or not. My consciousness is starting to fade. In the end is near. The unfortunate thing is about Saber. I have a fatal wound, but it seems Saber is just fatigued. She's unarmed now, and her wounds have completely healed. So even if I retire now, Tosaka should be able to do something. Sound again. Sound of my bones are creaking coming from my body. They're done on my wound. But there are many swords. One looks like the blades laid on top of each other, crowding together, connect my separated body, making that sound. I feel dizzy. Like every bone in my body, every muscle in my body is made out of swords. There's no such thing. Must have been my imagination. My body is fine. To prove that, my separated body is starting to connect, and the cuts are healing quickly. More like restoration than healing. This is more creepy than strange. It seems I'll be saved. This is too...
よかった
I am glad. It seems you will not die, Master. I hear Saber's voice by my ear. Oh, that's great. What's going on? Trying to finish, I'm assailed by dizziness. Then, my body is enclosed by left arms. Saber.
いいえ
Finally understand.
私に
It's
は
only
分かり
natural
ま
for
し
your
た
body to heal. I can't stay conscious. It's because I produce too much magical energy. My mind is tired and want to sleep right now. How strong is she? She wraps her body around me and holds me tight.
やっと気づいた
I finally understand. You were my sheep,
Shiro.
Shiro. She says so in a deep, seeping voice. The feeling is so comfortable, rainy consciousness fades away. I'm glad to be saved, and I let my body sleep. But before that, I complained to myself that it would be more than perfect if our positions were reversed. At the end, see that red hill once more. A red memory. Dive deeper into her memory. Realize this is the last time. These are the memories of a night we've seen many times before. After becoming a king, becoming the will of the country, by killing her own will, her days were filled with neglect, even from her own trusted knights. Every day she won a battle. Arturia made to wish for a battle she did not wish for. She continued to hide her sex, surrounded by suspicion, but awaited this isolated girl was a rebellion by one of her relatives. A young knight took over the country while the king expedition. The man's name was Mordred. That knight who was son of Morgan, the sister of the King of Knights, was actually the son of the King of Knights. To start to the end, Arturia could not have been children. Could not have children, it's a woman. And Mordred clearly inherited the blood of Arturia. Arturia's older sister, Morgan, not sure how she had it, but she despised Arturia for becoming king even though Arturia was younger than her. Mordred was created as her other self. He served the king, a knight with an unknown father, waiting for his chance to take over the throne, and finally organized a revolt. This was the battle later known as the Battle of Camlan, the final battle of King Arthur. King Arthur discovered Mordred's betrayal on an expedition and returned to her homeland with her tired troops to invade her own territory. She slashed away knights that used to serve her. She attacked the land she was protecting. The few knights that stayed with her died off, and the only ones standing at the end were her and Mordred. Personal combat ended with the king's victory, but she did not emerge unscathed. Mordred was bound by a strong curse, so still he swung his sword even after death, and left a fatal wound on the king. That is the end of this battle. The last of her, the one called the King of Knights. It must have been painful. Come to think of it, none of her battles were painless. Every one of her 12 battles was severe, and this just happened to be the greatest wound appropriate for her end. She returned to her territory to start her own army. She punched the knights that used to serve her, the knights following her who all died. And in the end, she had to kill her own son, even if he was a son only in name. I cannot tell what went through her mind, but I have to wish. The lone king who tried to be a king until her final moments. Wish that last dream might have been a normal dream, one the girl called Arturia I wished for. I opened my eyes. No when I got back, but in my room, lying on my futon.
ああ、気がつい
You've
たので
awoken, Shiro.
セーブ
す。あれから今まで眠っていたのです。
You've been sleeping since that time.
体
Your
の方
body
は
is
ほぼ
almost
完
completely
治してい
healed,
ますか
so you
ら。
do not need to worry.
そうか
See, that's great, but what about Saber? She used Excalibur. She went magical energy to heal herself.
セーバ
Saber,
ーずっと
where are
俺
you
の手
treating me
で
all this time?
手当てと言っても
I merely
汗
wiped
を
your
拭く
sweat.
程度です。
I cannot treat wounds as ring
バ
balls.
カ
Idiot.
そんなことしな
You
く
didn't
て
need to do that.
今は俺よりセイ
It
バー
must
の
be
方が
painful for
辛い
you right now.
そのようなことはあ
That
り
is
ま
not
せん
true.。I only have a
シロ
light
に比
wound
べれば
compared to you,
しかし
but I cannot
今の
ignore
は
you
聞
what
き
you
捨
just
てなり
said.
ませんね。
Even if your wounds are healed,
い
they are
くら
bad
傷
enough
が塞がった
that
と
you
言
could
っ
have
ても
died.
シ
Please
ロ
worry
は
about
死んで
yourself for now. Saying so, Saber reaches for the washboard beside her. There's a cold towel in there. After squeezing water out, she wipes my sweating body. I'm really embarrassed. Sure, does your wound hurt?
傷が痛むのです
It
か
seems you are getting a fever again.
熱
I
なん
didn't
か
have
出
a
て
fever.
ない
No. You can just
今
rest for
は
now.
元気かもしれないけど
You might be alright, but you used Excalibur, so you should be one resting. You'll collapse again at this rate.
まあ
Well, that's true, but
今は私の方が
now
元
I'm
気で
doing
す
better
か
than.
らマス
It's
ター
only
の
not for
傷
me
が
to
癒え
protect
る
you
まで
until you get better.
それは
You have a point there. Crap. I can't object because it says that kind of
分かったよ
expression.
俺もしっかりと
So
休む
please
から
rest too.
セ
I
イバー
can't
も
sleep
ちゃ
with
ん
peace
と
of
休んで
mind
くれ
unless you rest too.
それはそうで
That
す
is
ね
true. I need sleep as well. Saber nods, squeezes the cloth, and puts it on the side of the washbowl. So I let Saber take care of me and suppress my embarrassment.
それでは
Then I shall be going to bed. Please take care of your own body, Shiro.
お
Okay.
やすみなさい
Good night.
言いそびれましたが
I forgot to say this, but
礼を
thank
言
you,
い
Shiro.
あなたが助かっ
I
て
am really glad that you are okay. Saber is smiling in the moonlight. Did it look ephemeral because of the weak moonlight? Sliding door is shut before I could find out. I don't know if I'm happy or lonely now that Saber's gone. I did want to stay by my side, but that'll be a burden on Saber. And if we stay like that, it'll just be like that night. I shake off the image in my head. Too many things are happened today. It was only a day, but it feels like a week. Date with Saber was more troublesome than fun. We ended up having an argument and left Saber alone. And no, I have to rest for now. I can think later. That there's not only Gilgamesh, but Lancer as well, and his unknown monster. We can't win unless we start over in our best conditions. It happened a few hours ago. She said something about me being her sheep. I was badly injured and about to fall asleep, so I couldn't ask her what. I can't fall asleep. Saber's dream, her resolute face, but of death, face she nursed me overlap each other. The foulness of her smile won't get out of my head. The smile that she never showed upon the girl in my dream. He said, makes her happier when I smile. It's vexing. Why is it vexing instead of saddening? I don't know why I'm annoyed to the point of anger. Respect the futon. I'm about to rage because of this unknown irritation. Sure. Are you not feeling well? I hear a word at the side of the sliding screen. I was out of breath. It must have sounded like I tossed because of pain.
大丈夫
I'm fine. Are you still awake? Yes.
ですが
Are you sure you're alright?
本
I
当
can
に
go
白
there
の
if
方
you're in pain. No, it's better than if I go over there. No, that's bad. Nothing I become. Or flow. I see Saber right now.
セイバ
Saber, can I talk with you a bit?
はい
If we could talk like this. I started talking through the sliding screen. Maybe it's because I can't see her, but I recall the smile I last saw on her. Saber was smiling happily. My frustration increases instead of calming down. I don't know why my body is heating up, but I need to talk to Saber. I have to say that it's wrong. I don't know what's really right, but I have to tell her I'm not wrong. My tongue and throat tremble. Turn back. Fully acknowledge it, and
もういい
alright, it's fine.
いいから
So you should smile for your own sake.
お前は自分のために
I pushed by an unknown impulse to say this.
白
Sure, but she doesn't even need to ask. I'll keep repeating myself until you realize it.
セイバ
Saber,
ーもう
isn't this
十分
enough?
なんじゃないのか
You've done your best. You fought even by
お前
yourself.
なら
So, you have to find your own
お前は
happiness.
立派に誓いを
You've
果たし
fulfilled
た
your oath, so you can return to being up to it. We're still talking about that.
ずっと言い
I'll
続
keep
け
on
る
saying it.
そ
I
んなの
can't help
惚れ
it
ちまっ
because
たん
I've
だから
fallen
仕
in
方
love
ない
with
だ
you.
ろ
That's why I say no.
だからセイバーは
You are to being our toady. I suppress my hit sudden fury. It's about to burst out. Saber's you say one thing. But sure, please, do not trouble
そ
me.
のようなことを言われて
Even if you say that our answer doesn't change. My heart aches with
白は
determination.
私
You
の
knew my
ことを知
past,
って
but you continue to
私
invade.
の中に何度も
You
入
should
って
know my answer already. So
私の答えなど
why
あ
are
な
you
た
still
が知ってい
concerned
る
with me?
私がどれほどの罪を
You
重
must have
ねてきた
seen all the sins I have committed. Yeah, I did. She sacrificed many people in the name of the king and killed many enemies. I don't intend to ignore that or pretend that it didn't happen. But still, even knowing that, I want the girl named Arturia to become happy.
それがどうした
So what?
この
I don't
感
know
情が
what this
何か
emotion
も
is,
知らない
but I just can't leave you alone.
セイバーは笑って
Please
くれ
smile. I want to be with you, Saber. A childlike, unilateral confession. Within the silence, I wait for her answer. What Saber is doing on the other side of the sliding screen, On my word, reaching.
私の答え
My
が
answer will not change.
王の誓いは
I
揺るが
cannot
ない
break my oath with the king. Even if I was not appropriate for the role, I was trusted with my
私は
country as the
そ
king.
の責務を果たせなかった
I
という
couldn't fulfill the duty. So,
そ
this
んな
freedom is not permitted to me. I can't hold myself back any longer because her voice sounds so sad. I don't want a lonely oath being king used instead of her words as I took it. I already know that. I didn't become this vexed to hear those screams. I kick my futon. In front of me, sliding doors separating doors.
シロ
Shiro. The sound of sliding door feels distant. My mind blanks out. Why was I so angry? So sad. Her eyes shake off as about to cry, her gorgeous neck and slender shoulders. Her golden hair reflects the moonlight, just like when we first met. I'm embracing her when I notice. I embrace her hard that I could break her. She doesn't resist. It's different from that night. I didn't feel like this back then. What a ridiculous story. I wanted to become a superhero, but I never fell in love with anyone, nor was I unwilling to let go of anyone.
セイバー
Saber. It was like she should disappear, but don't keep holding her. I don't know how long I've held her, but I finally figure out that she won't disappear and loose now.
シロ
Sure.
突然
What
に
is
何を
this all of a sudden?
これは一
What is the
体
meaning of this?
どういうこと
Even
で
if
す
you
か
do this, she moves slightly into my arms. Her lips tremble, trying to say something, but she closes them with a soft touch. My body is slightly trembling. I'm staring at Saber, but I'm not seeing anything. Each place my lips feel Saber's kindness. Our lips part. Saber's hand on my chest pushes us apart a bit.
シロ
Sure, that kiss was that she wanted to say was a mistake. Closing me to the face about
間
to
違いなんかじゃな
not
い
a mistake.
何度だって言うぞ
I'll say it as many times as I need to.
セイバ
I
ーが好
love
き
you.
で
I
この
can't
まま
just
話
let
す
you
か
go.
それが嫌なら言ってくれ
Tell me if you don't like it.
俺とは
Tell me
マスターとサ
we're
ー
only
バ
a
ントの
master
関
and
係に
servant
過
and
ぎない
contradicting.
卑怯な
Unfair.
そのよ
Are
う
you
なこと
telling
を
me to
口
say
に
so?
し
I won't
セ
hold
イバー
back.
がはっきり言わ
If
ない
you
限
won't tell me
り
clearly.
セイバーが拒まないんなら
Refuse me, I'll do as I want. Even if it would make her temporarily forget her determination to be the king. A long silence. I keep holding her and I feel her softness. She's still tense, not wanting to be embraced. All I hear are our breath and beating of our hearts. How many times did our hearts beat? Sabers slightly more power into the hand on my chest.
あなたの気持ちには
I cannot answer your feeling. As you cannot change your
その
will,
正しさを
there are
変え
things
る
I
こと
cannot
ができるのは
all I can do is forgive. Her pause aches my heart. She bites her lip, trembles, saying, "Make confession that this night is unforgivable." But still, unresisting body and wavering eyes tell me that only this one night. She wants to stay like this till the next
Saber.
night. Saber, I raise my hand to embrace her again,
防具
but
を
I've used my
使い
no
ました
time.
から
I cannot fight unless I receive
Shiro.
magical energy from you. I can't say anything. The reason absolute biggest body sphere.
ああそうだったな
Is the connection still working?
はい
Yes. You are charging me as we
今
speak,
のですから
but to heal we must be close to each other like this. That's the limit. This is the distance between us. A girl bound by her oath, and myself who cannot destroy her oath. Saber moves within my arms. At the same time, the feverish heat in my body returns. My arms in panic at her. I'm painfully aware of her softness and slenderness. I'm ashamed for panicking. Saber's cheeks are red as well, and she looks
で
embarrassed.
すのでシロ
So please, Shiro,
今晩は
please allow me to sleep here tonight. It is easier for the sword and the sheath to regain powers if they are together.
ケンと
And if
セ
we
イ
bring
が
our
共
bodies
に
and
あれ
minds
ば
closer,
その力を取り戻
like
しや
during
すい
that retreat. I nod back. My happiness overwhelms my embarrassment. I'm going to be with Saber until morning. We can't touch each other anymore. We could still be close using our
分かっ
hearts.
た
Good. Then
今
Shiro,
夜は私が支度をしますので
I will do the preparation.
先に
But
部
can you
屋に
please go
戻っ
back
て
to
い
your
ただけ
room?
ます
Saber stands. I'm reluctant to let her go, but I can't be like this forever. Head sliding screen. I turn back at Saber as I close the screen. With her hands at her collar, Saber shyly returns my gaze. It feels like I'm doing something impure, so I close it quickly. For some reason, I sit Japanese style on the futon as I wait. I'm going to be sleeping together with Saber. This thought causing me to dance on my head. This is to help Saber, and I also to grant her small wish. Saber may be able to smile someday if we pile up such small wishes. While the battle is nearing its end, will we have enough time?
失礼します。
Excuse me, Shiro. The screen opens. There's a depressing thought in my mind awoke from Saber. I turn around and see. Quietly shall my breath. Her white figure shows up in the darkness. With that, my agitation disappears. Probably because she's too beautiful. My agitated mind comes to my senses and
お
clears
か
up.
しいでしょうか。
What looks strange in this?
いや、そんなこと
It's
は
not
な
true.
い。
I'm probably trouble
ただ、
because you're so dazzling. I remember strange things. Just how troubling it is for a girl to be beautiful. So everyone wouldn't understand what I mean, but my mind will move unless I say it.
そちらに行ってもよろ
There
し
you
い
go
で
over
す
there. Shiro. Yeah. Notice for the first time how small her toes look beautiful. As Saber makes her way over, I draw back and spread the futon. I realize that I need another pillow, but it's too late now. Saber and I are sitting on the futon, flat side by side. One room, one futon, but Saber's with me. I have no dirty thoughts, but my face is burning. I can't see a glance at Saber.
先にどうぞ。
Please go ahead,
いや
Shiro.
セ
Of course, like this. I slip under the futon and make space for Saber. Try to give the pillow to her, but she quietly pushes it back
こ
toward
れ
me.
はし、
You can use this.
私はその。
I use your arm as my pillow. Show you whoever's thing. Saber's is in my arms, surprisingly calm. I'm not hugging her, but rather she is settled in there. Sword and sheath. I remember Saber's words. Saber is about to fall asleep and use my arms as her pillow, and she looks beautiful sword in the sheath. Warmth and faint smell calm me down instead of exciting me. It seems unthinkable I was worried about falling asleep with Saber. Saber holds out her hand. I take her hand, the futon, and clasp it. We quietly fall asleep. Before that,
セイバー
Saber. I call out to the girl laying beside me. I want to ask her in the end. To hear her reply to my question.
感じますか
Do you feel it, Shiro? My magical energy being replenished by
これ
tomorrow
なら朝まで
morning
に
at this
魔
rate?
力の補充
I give out to your servant starting tomorrow.
セイバ
Saber.
今はそれだけです
That is it for now, Shiro.
私の役
My
割は
role
あ
is to
なたの
protect you
身を守り
and
きる
obtain the Holy Grail. I cannot
聖
think
杯
about
を手にす
anything
る
else
こと
until
だけ
the
です
battle is over.
ーそれは
That's
そうでしょうシロ
it's not right because you have
この戦いを終わらせるため
chosen
に
to fight to end this war. It's already been almost 2 hours. I didn't actually lose this long. That's something I cannot argue against. If I want to do not our problem, I have to end this war beforehand. First of all, I can't protect Saber unless we defeat the man who's after Saber. But we have a way to defeat the King of Heroes. We go quiet and scare the darkness. How long will we like that? My tired body wants to rest, and my body starts to close. But our clasped hands are warm.
セイバー
Saber,
はい
let us think tomorrow.
明日になればよう
We
や
might
く
come up with a good plan
かもしれま
tomorrow,
せん
and I would like to sleep like this for now. You said so. I love gently clasping my
そ
hand.
うだな
I wanted to do so too. Good night, Shiro.
おやすみ
Let
な
us
さい
return to our previous selves when we wake up. I close my eyes, they are close to me. My last vision of Saber, seeing her smiling warmly. I don't care if it was just for this night. Right now, her hand is warm. That is more than enough for me right now, as I fall into comfortable sleep. We approach the end of this battle. Without knowing, we'd be able to keep our hands connected even after everything happened. I was going to do day 15, then I realized it was almost 2 hours. So we're going to do that. We're going to load the dead end. Don't stand up! Laughing voice approaches me. With my hands down to get up. Lightning rushes through my spine. Every telling me I can't fight anymore. I can't get up. Even if I do get up, I can't beat that guy's body like this. As soon as I admit it, my body stops trying to stay alive. The power that connected Emiya Shiro to, up to now starts to fade. Dead end. My consciousness clouds up. My life ends as well. Dead end. Basically, you just didn't decide to get up, so you decided to stay there. You. 203 chain, marvelous. Fucking chicken grill. I can't believe this. I can't believe anyone could just an insane gamer that they come to this Tiger Dojo boss. You shouldn't be here. Beat that Goldie quickly and protect Sabers, or I'm going to get mad. Is that okay, Buruma? Oh, hi, Senpai. Well, it's a bit vexing, to be honest. But I want... Ah, cool. Things have gone this far. Well, this dojo is done. Quickly go back and try to beat him. That's it! I'm going to quickly check my ending list. Yeah, okay. So we have 11. Ooh, we actually have one of those. That's 11. 12 and 14. Yep, okay, so... those will be done. The day 15 end for Tiger Dojo 13 is irrelevant. So I will just wait for now because there's no other choices for day to get day 13. However, there's new status. Charisma. Yeah, Charisma. We already knew that. Those have already been detailed. I feel bad for Lancer. Basically everybody else. Because we don't know anything about them. Archer. Gilgamesh. Male. Chaotic good. Heavy. Some magic resistance. Some very, very silly independent action. Gilgamesh. Yeah. Yeah, he's a long story. Charisma, A+. Divinity, B, A+. He has the capacity for greatness, but since Gilgamesh himself dislikes God, the rank is reduced. The King's Treasury, a sword key that leads to a golden capital. It connects space and allows the user to freely use and take any tool from the treasury. Needless to say, the Phantom will become stronger the more wealth the person has. And since obviously he has all of this shit, it's basically infinitely powerful. It's also technically an anti-personnel double phantasm because it can't really use broken double phantasms. Ea Enuma Elish, star of creation that splits heaven and earth. Cutting space, sword of separation Ea. A layer of wind compressed and accelerated becomes a fake layer of time and space that smashes all who oppose it. Its attack power is strong enough to elimination rank of AC, or a counterattack with equivalent damage level is needed to defend against the phantom. Damage is strength times 20, though magic MGI may be added to strength at random. Yes, they're talking about D&D shit. Maximum damage is 4,000. But, like, there's no real reason for this to even exist because, like, it doesn't really matter. They're just flavoring it. But with the Sword of Double Phantasms in his treasury, the damage increases even further. He has equal or superior output to Saber's Excalibur, and is a sword that cuts apart the world. It's an EX rank anti-world double phantasm. Neat. Yeah, we've gone over all those. Okay. Good. Which means I can actually delete this file here. Don't delete anything else. And I shall end the stream here. It's been 2 hours. I'm going to change also the name of the stream over to just day 14. Because I really thought that I might be at the rate we'd be going like, oh, let's do 3 hours. No, I know I thought day 14 was kind of long, but not really. Day 15 I know is long because A, it has 4 choices. 1. 2, it has multiple Tiger Dojos. 3, it's also the final fight, so there's a large amount of stuff you have to get done. Because you have to remember, we still have to fight Lancer, and we still have to fight Gilgamesh for the final time. So, like, there's still 2 servers left. So it's like, yeah, there's still a lot of stuff to do. Unlike the other routes, which kind of end on less long last days, because there's less stuff to do. Except for Heavensvale, actually, now that I think about it. UBW is the one, because just basically everything is done. You don't really worry about anything silly. You just go into the final fight. The final fight is the long part, the end. In this case, like, there's stuff leading up to it, there's a bunch of stuff. Oh. Well, we shall see. It'll be good, I think. So hopefully, you've had a good time, and we shall see you next time. I should host someone, but I'll host it after I have ended the stream.